attended last year's Donor Appreciation Luncheon. My name is Shekhar Panchapakesan, and I'd like to tell you a little bit more about some of my travels to India to visit some of the places where IFA supports people who work there. So I'll start by looking at a map. That's a map of South India. As you can see, there's a red pin or a place there. It's a place called Sandur. And Sandur, as you can see, is northeast of Bangalore. And it's about a 6-hour drive from Bangalore. Beautiful, newly built highways with real pleasure to drive on. And I did that drive in the latter part of December. Now, it's also a scenic place. As you can see, there's dense foliage, there are mountains, valleys. It's a wonderful place to visit if you were to just go there to enjoy the scenery. So much so that there is this little inscription, a tourist spot. It says, "See Sandur in September." Now those words are actually a direct quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi visited this place in 1930, and he was so captivated by the beauty of this place that he said, he was telling other people in India, "Come, see Sandur in September." I did go there in December, a little after September, but I had a slightly jarring experience seeing Sandur, and that's the story that I'd like to tell you about. Now let's go back to that map. That particular screenshot is taken from Google Earth. And Google Earth is fascinating because it allows you to zoom in on some places. And if you can look at Sandur marked there, you will see some red gashes on the ground in Sandur. That is something that you can see from the satellite image of that part of India. And that's what I'd like to talk about and why Sandur is what it is today. Sandur happens to be in Bellary district. 25% of India's iron ore reserves is under that ground. And of course, iron ore mining has been happening there for maybe 150 plus years. Now in the early days, it was largely state-owned. After independence, the state-owned company did the mining. It was at a low level in terms of extraction. 1991, all of you will remember, is when liberalization happened. Private companies were given licenses to do things that they weren't doing before. In Sandur, in the Bellary district, what happened was that a group of corrupt politicians took over that place. They took it over so much that the local residents, the people, the newspapers, used to call this the Republic of Bellary. Why? Because the laws of the Republic of India did not apply there. The Reddy brothers, as they were called, practically ruled the area. They captured all the mining licenses, and they did not just mine what they were allowed to mine. They went and encroached upon the agricultural land. They encroached into the villagers' lands. They recklessly extracted many more tons of iron ore than their official licenses allowed them to do. And that caused complete devastation. The forests, the wildlife, the villages, all the people in the villages who depended upon the iron ore mining companies for employment had to pay the price in living with the pollution that was caused by these miners. Now there was, sometimes, history has a savior. The picture that you see there is somebody who actually will be familiar to many of you. S.R. Hiramat has in fact visited us as recently as a couple of years ago He's a great friend of IFA and has been a close associate of IFA for many years. And along with other groups that in Karnataka that investigated the mining scandal, as it's called, SR is credited with being, as in this news website, as a man who took on the mining mafia in Karnataka. And what he did was he took the mining companies all the way to the Supreme Court. There, the public interest litigation enabled the Supreme Court to put a halt to the mining. They actually temporarily halted all mining. The Reddy brothers were arrested. Then they imposed very strict limits on how much mining could be done. And they levied these huge fines. Those fines and fees now amount to a corpus of almost $3 billion. The Karnataka state government set up a new company to take care of that money and spend that money for the illegal mining affected villages. Unfortunately, in December 2025, this is how Sandur looks. There is still a red haze of dust as you drive into the town. It costs everything, the roads, the trucks, the plants. I went to a place where this is the actual mine. It's like a moonscape. The top of the hill has been scraped off. Trucks are transporting iron ore all day. But that's not all of the story. The story actually is the story that I saw with people who belong to the Samaja Parivartana Samudaya, the group started by S.R. Hiramat. They are the people who do things like this. They work with the Anganwadis, the places who the government here run childcare centers. SPS provides them training on health and nutrition. They work with women's self-help groups. These self-help groups bring together the savings of these women that can be given as loans to its members. They help them set up entrepreneurial enterprises like kitchens and other handicraft items that they sell. All of this, and then most important, this thing. What the SPS is doing right now is surveying this entire area and collecting data. This is the data that is going to help, hopefully, the Karnataka government spend that $3 billion. They go to each house, collect data about who lives there, what's their source of income, what diseases affect them, what is their health status, and all of that is going to be channeled, hopefully, into the work of spending that money in proper ways. So that's the story that I wanted to tell you about going to Sandur and then seeing what the people whom we help. There you see on the screen along with me, Colleen, Kaveri, and Praveen. Two of them are IFA fellows. These are the people that you are supporting. Your support is important for the work that they do in Sandur, and that is in fact the most remarkable part of what I saw when I went to Sandur in December. Thank you very much.